If you own a Volkswagen Vanagon, you already know that these things get absolute shite gas mileage, but word on the street is that if you do a tune-up, it'll get a little bit better. So Rainbows is gonna help do a tune-up today, and hopefully it'll take me from like an 11 mile per gallon to like a solid 12 mile per gallon at least. Here we go. All right, action.
All right, so where are all the parts, Molly, before? Like,
I've got a box of parts right
yeah,
here.
great.
Here's a box.
So we've got, no, oh, come on, Molly.
Some of it goes to other stuff.
Yeah.
Here we have a box of stuff. Everything required to do a full engine tune-up on a Volkswagen Vanagon. If you're gonna do a tune-up too and don't really know what to order, because I didn't know what to order, Rainbows sent me a list of Amazon links, and I'll put that same list right below this video so you can get all your supplies. Alright, take it away, Rainbows.
Alright, so things we're going to do today, we're going to change the cap, the rotor, the spark plug wires, the spark plugs, and we're going to check the air filter, make sure that's good. And then we're going to spray everything down with degreaser and clean it. Just spray it down with degreaser, let it sit, and hit it with some pressured water with a sprayer. We can see here, just starting here, that it's not too bad. This I cleaned up before already, so it was expected to be a little bit less than awesome. We got some carbon buildup here, which is probably causing your spark not to hit so cleanly. There should have been maybe a points set that comes with this too, but that's not highly required. Did we get the point set one too? No, you didn't get the point set one too. So the point set one, there's some electronics in there that just gets changed out, but it's obviously not going to happen today. The key thing to paying attention to when you take this out, this goes on one way. This also typically will go on only one way because there's a keying right here, but these guys, you don't want to get those mixed up. So we're only going to do one at a time as we start checking out the spark plugs. Let's check this out real quick and make sure you're getting enough airflow. Doesn't look terrible, but you can't see the sun through here. Can we take a look at this? You should be able to see the sun through the filter. Can you see the sun through there?
Nope.
New air filter is necessary. Yeah, nothing. That thing's pluggedy. So, yeah, we'll call O'Reilly's and see if they have one of these in stock. It's not a huge concern right this second, but that might be why your van was having struggle at low RPM, just kind of like missing a little bit, is because it probably just wasn't getting enough airflow. I just learned something that the B or BR is supposed to tell you what size to use. Looks like that one is going to be 13/16.
So you said a 13/16 socket?
It's a 13/16 socket, that's correct. Let's see, this one, it's got a little bit of blackness, a little bit of whiteness. It looks like an alright thing. It's been burned on a little bit rich, but it's not too bad. This is why you always gap your spark plugs, even if you buy them. They might say pre-gapped. This one does not say pre-gapped, but this one is gapped at 0.032-ish. So it does not take much. That's 0.03 and 0.29. Yeah, that's about 0.2024 or 0.25. And you want to make sure not to drop it. Put it in your socket nicely. It should stay pretty good. You want to make sure not to drop it into the engine. Thing go backwards till you feel the threads click. And you don't cross-thread it in there. It should be in. Okay, so there we are. That is finger tight. These should be torqued down to 25 pounds, according to the website. These have a compression fitting, so they do like a specific weight. So I don't have a foot-pounds torque wrench. I have an inch-pounds torque wrench that does read enough inch-pounds. 25 foot-pounds is 300 inch-pounds. And typically you want to have no extension. Let's see if this will fit down there, though. I don't think it's going to fit right. Yeah, I don't have the reach. So we're going to put a small extension on here, and that's just going to have to be life. There it went.
Wow, tie it.
It's nerve-wracking. It's safer than guessing. All right, so there's one. Let's get out plug plug pliers and see what we got here. That one's not long enough. Luckily, these don't look terrible. This one's definitely the one you want to like fucking double, triple check. This apparently is the wrong box. I'd be willing to bet they sent you the wrong box, because this wire, there's no reaching. That wire does not. There's no world does that fit. So just life. Okay, so we've got this one here. So we're gonna pop this off of here. Size it up. And we got that one. So it turns out these unscrew. Never known that before, but I guess they unscrew. On there like so. That one is labeled 1. So then, what we want to do while we're doing this is we want to get this guy out. Make sure it fits on here. Pop this off of here real quick. Pop this on here, make sure it fits.
So that's the rotor?
Yeah. Yeah. And this thing spins around and around and around and transfers the electricity from here onto here so we can jump across to whatever spark plug it's facing at. And that goodness go on here like so. Yeah, that goes on like so. Like so. So we'll pull this off of here, put it on there. Yeah, like that. Alright, so we said spark plug number 1.
Fresh cap.
Goes in spark plug number 1 spot, which is right there. And then spark plug number 2 goes here.
So what order are they? Is it like 1, 2, 3, 4?
I don't know. There's I see that says 1. This says 2. That says 3, and this says 4. And so it looks like, I'm not sure which way that thing spins, but it looks like your firing order might be 1, 2, 3, 4, which is weird in my brain.
Is it right, do you think?
Hmm?
Do you think it's right?
Of course it's right. It wouldn't run if it wasn't right. So like I was saying, we've got, and I was trying to find the correct gapping, so I found Rob's Guide to Spark Plugs for the VW, yada yada. You can see here we've got some interesting information where, NGK plugs, start with a B, require 13/16. That's a B, and it does take a 13/16, just like it says there. Then you can kind of get into like how you can adjust your own spark plugs per what you want to use them for, because you can do that. Dry spark plug that is black in color. Doesn't quite look like that. It's got a little bit of a white tip on it. Looks like a good, nice burn. Not too much fuel there. It's not just white in color. It's not being overheated. That's good. So it's not looking terrible. This is not a complete guide to like how to gauge whether your timing and your spark is correct, but a little bit of black means a little bit of carbon, maybe just a little bit of unburnt fuel. A little bit of white means heat. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of heat in this engine, but it's not like completely and totally over the top. You can see the old one for the other valve, that's the other cylinder. Almost equal, not too terrible. Let's see what this one's gapped at. Brand new spark plug, gapped at 35. I'm going to be a little bit more rough with this time and just start off fresh. There we go. Be mindful that if you're using like triple rhodium fucking super duper expensive tips, you don't want to do this. You can check a little bit with maybe a different type of feeler gauge, but you don't want to scrape off your precious metals. This is just a standard old school non-performance spark plug. There we go. There it is. So here we have 2, traced back to 2. And now this one's longer, so it reaches further down in there. There, like that. That goes in there. That goes to 2. So this thing actually comes off very easily. And if you're using a proper spark plug tool, socket, this thing actually fits nicely into the rubber bit and holds it in place. And if you remove this, it doesn't fit and hold into place, so when you try and drop it in there, it will actually drop in there. So you can kind of just leave this on here about like 1 or 2 screws in. So when you put it in this thing, it holds on, and you can get a screw or 2 in on the head, and then you can get in there with a pair of needle nose and unscrew this the rest of the way. And then your spark plug wire will fit on there properly. Okay, find the hole, turn it backwards, find the threads. Okay, felt on click. Yeah, there we go. Mystery tube red number 1. What does this thing go to, I wonder? It is just a tube. Where do you go, tube? Why do you exist? Oh, it goes here. This is a vacuum leak that you're experiencing. So we'll try to sort that out today. That's probably, it's pulling on this right here, which looks like it might be, this might be tied to your vacuum advance, which could also be why it's running rough. It works, so that's good. Yeah, see, that goes to this thing here, which is a vacuum assembly, and that vacuum assembly goes to this tube here, which has an interesting valve release here, all the way here, here. This is a sensor that it's supposed to be sensing that vacuum of. This is your intake manifold, I think. So little. And then I started on V8 Chryslers, early 60s V8 Chryslers. This is a very incredibly tiny engine. All right, let's go ahead and ratchet this down. There it is. Torqued to spec. All right, one more.
One more. All right, can you tell them how to know which wire goes where?
Yeah, so this set of wires came with two styles of plugs, and I didn't really recognize that they were a different thing until I went to go to the second one. This style of plug is for the narrow, the closer shroud connector, and then this one here, I bet you this one, if we open it up, no, it's actually closed too. That one's actually right on top, so it's going to be, that's going to be this one, and this one is going to go to that one. So we'll go ahead and swap that right now.
Okay, so you know which wire by how long that part is, and then how do you know which wire goes where on here?
Because we kept our map. And
Okay.
we only unplugged one at a time. If you go ahead and unplug all of these all at once, you'll have to get out the manual and figure out what the firing order is and then trace back each of them. Luckily, it says clearly back here, 1, 2, this one should say 3 somewhere. I don't know where it says 3. Oh, this one says 3 here. That's 3 back here. You can see where it says 3 back there? Bink. And then this one should say 4 somewhere, but I'm not sure where it says 4. It's probably under this tube here or something, or maybe it's irrelevant. Maybe they just figure you're smart enough by then, because people can count to 4.
Okay, then if you said the numbers on this.
1, 2, 3, 4. And we should be able to match that up to the one that's missing. This is the first one we took off, and then I replaced this whole assembly. And then we've got our map. 2, 3. Looks like it was going here. Oh, no, this one curved around there. It goes curved around and went there. And this one is already still hanging back there. I just took it off of there. So that's how you can keep track of that. Unless you do this. In which case, get out the manual and start over.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's that easy on this one. In many other cars with different counts of even 4, it might go 1, 3, 4, 2, or 1, 4, 2, 3, or if there's an 8-cylinder, it might go 1, 6, 4, 3, 5, 7, 8. Yeah. 4. It goes in between all these tubes. Looks like this has got a nice little rubber bit to it. Okay, that comes up. That. Firmly on there, you heard it go clunk. And that just kind of goes down on there nice and snug. Kind of push it down on that hole to kind of, it's really just a dust cover, just to keep all the dust and miscellaneous book from getting down and fouling anything up in there. Let's pull this off real quick and see what we get while we're standing here. Oh, that goes on there too. Yeah, this is, we should replace all of this tubing at some point. Like this, there's no way this is awesome. Once again, questioning, did this thing really get rebuilt at 5,000 miles ago? I don't believe it at all.
Sheesh, crunchy.
I mean, that goes in there. I mean, maybe that's just supposed to be like that. I mean, obviously that's what's happening, but none of this is super airtight. And this isn't like a high performance engine, but like still, like that should fit on there a little bit more snug dug. All right, well that's back on there. Let's get this last spark plug out of here.
Spark plug number 4. Well, I guess technically spark plug number 3.
Technically, yeah. All right, and then there's another spark plug that looks just like the rest of them did. And gapped equally a little bit large. But that might have been what your manual said, and we might be gapping these a little small because you don't have your manual handy right now, so we're going by what the internet says. And ultimately, the internet says RTFM. Just so you know, this is the first time I've ever used a fucking torque wrench on a spark plug. That's because I want you to know I'm doing it right. Everybody else should know I'm doing it right too. That's how you should do it. 100%.
Hear that? That's how it's done. But we should probably let them know not to get the same wires we got. So I know I said I'd give you guys a list of links of everything we're using, but you don't want to use the same wires we got because they're kind of wonky. So behind there might be where to shine the timing light.
I'm pretty sure that's what I'm looking at. There's a white, there should be some marks on there. We're just gonna open it up real quick.
Found it?
Yeah, except they just fell off too. All right, so right here is our timing. So you can see this is the timing. It's in German, vor nach. I don't know what those mean.
Since Volkswagens insist on having their battery as far away from the engine as possible, this is what we've got rigged up.
This is not the way to do it. Typically you'd want to try to get a different battery or a different vehicle. But I'm in a parking lot and my truck, although it's right over there, is maybe a better option. But the battery's on the other side. It's just too far away also. So this little wire and this very inexpensive timing light that we bought specifically just to do this project is all we got. So why don't you go start the engine. And it should start right up because we haven't changed the timing at all yet. I should be able to get flashy, flashy, flashy out of this light. Catch this. You see where the timing is? So that's set pretty far. It might be far advanced or retarded, but if I give it some gas, we're going to say that's not quite right. This white line right here, this should be where the rotation of cylinder 1 is, and top dead center would be at the 0 mark here. As you can see, this thing's really not very easy to read. So we've got 40 degrees, I'm guessing that's retarded, and then we've got, I think that this is 0. That might be top dead, or there's this marker here. That might be a manufacturing injection molding mark, which is a really terrible place to put that. It should be right around, I think, 20. Hey, so we're on thesamba.com and we're trying to find the information because everybody out there has manuals somewhere. And right now our manual is tucked away in storage not nearby. So we're going to deal with that later. And what these are saying is that at 3,500 degrees, 3,500 RPM, the timing should be set at, where'd my thing go? 28 degrees right here. There's a nice little gap right here. Looks like somebody scratched it into place nicely. 28 degrees before top dead center. This would be before top dead center. This would be advancing your timing, and this would be retarding your timing. So if it's shining here, you've retarded it, and if you're shining back here, you've advanced it. And this gives the, basically, this just tells the system when to send the spark to the combustion chamber to start the explosion process. And the explosion process is happening right here, and it continues to happen until here, until the exhaust valve opens and it's sent back down and exhausts. So anyhow, all of that, as we said, this also changes depending on whether you have an older point style system or a centrifugal system or a vacuum advanced system. This one appears to have no points. It has vacuum advanced, which is why we didn't have the points. So we're going to unplug the vacuum advance. Molly, show us here. We're going to unplug the vacuum advance like this. And we're going to put they say use a golf tee. A golf tee is the right size thing to stick in there. We're going to stick something else in there that I've got handy, which is going to look a lot like...
this little thing.
No, that has a hole through it. No, nothing with a hole through it. You want to actually plug that hole. I have a tiny little something here, sure. All right, so that's clipped out of the way. No vacuum coming out of there. So then what we do, we find our handy dandy 10mm at the parts store because everyone's lost it. And this thing right here is what you're gonna loosen up. It goes on here somehow, one way or the other. It goes on here and it just undoes a little bit. And now this should turn. There we go. Okay, so that's turning nice and easy now. So now Molly's gonna go start the vehicle. And I'm going to hold the throttle open at approximately 3,500 RPM, given that I don't know exactly what 3,500 RPM is here because this vehicle is not equipped with a tach, and our timing light also does not have a tachometer built into it, so it's not going to tell us how fast the engine's spinning. But we're going to kind of wing it and do it as best as we can. So go ahead and do that, Molly. Let's go. Can you see that? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to turn the distributor counterclockwise. And counterclockwise advances the timing. So let's go counterclockwise. Now we can see it's pretty close to 28. So now I'm going to give this acceleration. I think it stayed right about 28. Did you think it stayed right about 28? It didn't go up to like 24 or 26. It didn't drop any very far. Okay, so let's put the vacuum advance back on. As soon as I unplug this hole, it should sound weird. You hear that engine shift? Let's see what happens here. See, now we've got vacuum advance working. So the vacuum advance actually, as we accelerate, it moves the timing backwards a little bit to make the engine fire faster. Watch. All right. So I'm going to say that that's good timing for now. And then while it's still running, hold on. We want to tighten this down. So that's how you time an engine, Molly. Isn't that fun?
Not really. This is the one that melted off in our Will the Vanagon Make It Across the Island video. Oh, sheesh. Fuck. Dude, what the fuck? That's... Okay, that is different than it was before.
Yeah, it's melted. That's not good at all.
And here's the fresh one. Well, that is just not fitting.
Fuck.
Well, we've got some more work cut out for us tonight, but that's how you do the tune-up and timing. Shout out to Rainbows for making it happen. And until next time.
Fan of the fucking moon. Oh my god.
Oh my god.